This is the HAN Network, the leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
So whoever the weather gods are, take today, bottle it, and make it just happen all the time. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Boys Soccer on the HAN Network. Along with AJ Simonowski, Eric Gendron, I'm Rob Adams. Today, Fairfield Ludlowe, the Falcons host the Bears from Norwalk High School. And I'm telling you, right off the bat, AJ, you can't ask for better weather for a Monday afternoon of soccer in October.
Definitely not, Rob. You can't ask for a much better day for any sport in an afternoon in October. This is just beautiful.
And for the Falcons, they come in with a record of 7-2-1. So we'll see what they've got out there for us today. But we've seen them before. We saw them a few weeks ago, in fact, when they took on the Wilton Warriors right here in a very close game that the Warriors almost won right at the buzzer. So should be a good one here.
Yeah, shot just wide of the net at the very end. Missed, curving to the left, missed by couldn't have been more than a foot. And the reactions in our highlights showed players just face down on the turf, could not believe that he had missed.
But the Falcons a good team, and they play some pretty good soccer over at Norwalk High School as well. But in any event, we'll come back and get everything going as we're all set for a good one here on a gorgeous Monday afternoon. Sunny skies overhead, blue skies as well. If you're keeping an eye on the baseball, well, keep an eye on this as well. Should be a good one. We'll come back and get it all started right after this. Boys soccer coming up, Norwalk and Fairfield Ludlowe on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Welcome back to Taft Field on the campus of Fairfield Ludlowe High School for today's boys soccer matchup with A.J. Simonowski and Eric Gendron, our entire crew. I'm Rob Adams. Today's broadcast brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Carl Chevrolet, Coastal Orthopedic, Pamby Motors, and by Bankwell. Waiting for the teams to make their way out onto the field as they go through their final warm-ups and final instruction. The Falcons made their way onto the field, and it is October, so Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They were all decked out in pink T-shirts, while the Bears, all along, decked out in their green and white. They're the road greens that they wear with the white numbers, and now the Falcons in the traditional garb of white top, white bottom. The pink T-shirts have been discarded for now. Certainly want to have awareness, but they also need the funds, and, geez, really need to... I mean, the bottom line is a lot needs to be done with cancer in general and breast cancer. Certainly a huge problem in our society still, and it all starts with awareness, AJ.
I'm surprised we haven't been seeing pink soccer balls, pink goals, pink relining of the various lines on the field, pink flags in the corners.
I will tell you, I appreciate what the NFL tries to do with the, absolute deluge of pink that they do every October, but it has to be more than that. It needs to be more than about a color. They need funds. We need research. We need to, there's just,
awareness can only go so far by definition.
I totally agree. And if you'll forgive me and indulge me for a term that's often used, cancer sucks, and I'm going to say it straight out. It does, and we need to do a lot more than just wear pink. Nothing against the boys across the way wearing pink, a noble thing that they're doing, but need much more than that.
That's definitely a fair assessment. It sucks.
It does.
You can't say much.
And it touches, and I'll stay on it for one more moment. It touches everyone's lives.
Yes, definitely.
It's touched me, you. I'm sure it's touched Eric, and everyone here in one form or another. We all know somebody who has dealt with that. Just a nasty scourge.
And knowing one person is one person too many.
I agree. Not to get on a maudlin soapbox, folks, but just it was there. So now that we've batted that one out of the park, let's get down to business with boys soccer. We will watch Tyler Dalton go stand in net for the Norwalk Bears and Frederick Marr for the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. The Falcons coached by Kevin O'Hara. They are 7-2-1 on the year. And for the Bears, they are coached by Chris Lawton, and they are 2-5-3. For the Bears, at one point, they had gone through a 4-game losing streak that included losses of 3-1 to Danbury, 2-1 to Stamford, 5-1 to Bridgeport Central, and a 2-0 loss to the Darien Blue Wave before beating New Canaan 2-0. Then they lost again to Greenwich 1-0 at Cardinal Stadium, and now 3 straight ties. Trumbull 1-1, Staples 1-1, and Brian McMahon, wait, don't stop me, 1-1.
You look at some of those results, and they're clearly in most of these games, or at least making a fight of it. You see, 7-0 win over Trinity to start the season, and then lost a bunch right after that.
Does your phone always ring when we're on the air? Mine never fails, and quite often it's some kind of a
Truthfully, I have my phone in my side pocket right now, and it's on vibrate. So if it's going off, I have no idea.
Well, I just glanced at mine, and it never fails that it's almost some kind of robocall of some description.
I did have to hang up on a call from Michigan earlier today.
Well, I'm glad they gave you the call. Nice to talk to them. All right, we're underway. Ludlowe decked out in the white, and they send it around to the far side. So off we go. The Falcons and the Bears as it goes out of bounds. Just 17 ticks gone by first half. So the Bears will grab it to go toss it in. That's Andres Arias for the Bears as they try to work it from left to right. Falcons turn it right back around, send it down the far side. It'll bounce toward the Falcon bench.
It looks like the Bears have a good mix of age on this team. A bunch of seniors, but a handful of juniors, handful of sophomores, and some freshmen have made the varsity squad this year. So whatever they can put together this season, it bodes well for next year and beyond as some of these young guys get some experience.
No score. A minute and change gone by first half. Controlled by the Falcons. They play it across. Now the Bears grab it, moving from left to right. But the Falcons will go and retrieve it and bring it over to the near side. That's Richie Bellucci for the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. He goes and grabs it back, pushes it down the near side. Actually, that was Brendan Lane, one of the captains for Kevin O'Hara. As it comes out, and the soft toss in coming back from the Bears. That was Jose Caraval for the Norwalk Bears.
And the jumping kick there by Almeida, almost like a karate move.
Nicholas Stahl along the near side. And across it goes. For Ludlowe, no score, a minute and change gone by.
Very nice cross, but just a bit wide of the mark there.
So it'll bounce out onto the track. The young man will go and grab it. He's wearing the smock, so he's a happy guy as he gets to participate, throw the ball right back in.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot of fun for the kids.
Has to be.
Just to be around.
I remember being a bat boy for my brother's softball team years ago, and you know what? It was a blast. They made you feel like you were part of the team. It was a lot of fun. Came all the way back out near midfield for the Falcons. That was Tarcio Almeida, the sophomore, sending it across to the far side. Mason Jennings checking on for the Falcons. Bears kind of struggling, as I mentioned, at 2-5-3 with that 4 in a row losing streak. Off to the far side it goes. And it bounces out on that far side. Michael McCardle and Andres Arias both over there. That's a couple of seniors getting tangled up with 3 gone by in the first. Down into the right side it goes and out of bounds back behind the Ludlowe bench. Some pretty exciting baseball stuff going on today that I noticed. It looks like a really classic one going on between the Royals and the Astros down in Houston.
Two teams you would never thought mentioning in the same breath as playoffs, even last year.
No. Sent all the way down into the opposite end, and it'll be grabbed and recovered there. Handled by Tyler Dalton. Dalton blasts it back in and sends it right over near the scorer's table. So the throw in coming from the far side. Got away from McCardle. Did I actually see that, or was that a shadow that looked like a hand went up from one of the Bears, which would have been a big oops?
Yes, it would have.
Did you see it? Or?
I did not.
Okay.
I was glancing down at the roster for this young man's name, Matthias Nascimento. Number 26 for the Falcons, can throw the ball, I think, further than I can kick it.
That's a pretty good throw in as well. Off the header, down, off.
Tipped up and off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar, just missed it. Off to the near side it comes, and it'll roll out of bounds. But, boy, a good look there.
Very, very close.
So no score. 4.5 gone by first half. I am eternally grateful to both Eric and AJ because they both decided to keep me company here, and what we decided to do was split it up. EG will join us in the second half and AJ for the first half.
So I've got 35 more minutes to make it sound like I know what I'm doing.
So far, so good. Just keep fooling them. That's what I've been doing for a long time. All right. So coming in from the corner, it'll be the Falcons.
It's Nascimento again, but he seems to be kicking it this time.
Yep, it's a corner kick. Sets himself, makes the approach and the boot. Sent it far across, right along.
A little too much on that one.
Yep. Back out for Bellucci. And now the Bears will take it and try to reset things. Alexander Torres turns it over.
Stolen back by the Falcons.
Yep, Nascimento down the near side. Brings it back over, and he steals it away again. Boy, he's quick. Had it blasted right off the foot, though, of Torres, a senior for the Bears. So no score as we come up on the 6-minute mark. No score.
And imagine he tries to put a little bit less on this one.
Another corner kick. Sent inside and pooched right out. Resetting over to the near side. It'll be grabbed by Nascimento. Turned over there, and the Bears finally able to send it out toward midfield, but Trip McGarry waiting right there for Ludlowe. In a scoreless game, as we're in the 7th minute.
And some contact there.
Yep.
As much as we enjoy the contact, not a recommended thing in soccer.
Apparently, it's not recommended in baseball either. But I will spare you commentary on Chase Utley. Back out to midfield it goes. A little bit of a pro.
It hung up there just a little bit.
Yep.
Cost him that breakaway.
A touch of a pro Norwalk crowd as well, as there was a little bit of a buzz. Want to welcome Anna and Michael, Drew, all here today.
Our newest crop of interns.
And the poor soul known as Sean Saylor.
We just can't seem to get rid of him.
And he thinks I'd want to get rid of him. That's the shame of it all.
If only he knew. We love Sean Saylor.
He's a good friend. No score, Ludlowe and Norwalk, first half.
And subs coming in. For Norwalk, I believe.
It is. As soon as I can identify a number, I'll let you know who that young gentleman is. He's about to get his first touch of the ball. Came right down to him.
I believe that is Anthony Hernandez, the junior.
I agree. You are correct. It rolls down the far side and then knocked away. Estevan Restrepo there for the Bears. In a scoreless game, north to south goes the field. The quickest hint, if you look through the trees to our right of I-95, and as the leaves come down, you'll get an even better view of the main north-south thoroughfare of the East Coast. Although at this point, it does bounce east-west. There used to actually be signs that marked 95 as east-west through Connecticut many years ago. They've all, for the most part, since been taken down. Some Route 1 signs still say east-west as well, but they're north-south routes. Here ends Road Talk for the day. Just a little something to give AJ a chance to laugh at me.
It's a preview of Talking Transportation for the week.
Yeah, I probably could host my own version of Talking Transportation, but Jim Cameron's got it under control. He takes more of an advocacy approach than I do. I take more of an informational approach. As it goes around to the far side, the Bears able to get it back, bringing it across, though. Waiting there is a Falcon. And that Falcon is Tarcio Almeida. Now it comes over to Nick DeMasso, the senior for the Falcons. But they turn it right back over. Bounces off the official, and out of bounds it goes. He doesn't flinch and points the other way.
I suppose in that situation he can award possession to whomever he feels.
Yeah, I would think so. Off the throw-in, it is played by Torres. Torres battling with DeMasso, a battle of 21s. Which is not as infrequent as you think where the same two numbers are battling, because there's only a certain number of numbers that get handed out, and normally they're in the same, number scheme.
In the general section of the field as well.
Yeah, exactly. And this goes for pretty much all sports. On occasion, you'll see some different numbers going on. Kicked across and down the far side. I mean, football, there are certainly things where You may see a 2 running up against a 2, for instance, because the 2 might be a quarterback or a defensive back might be wearing 2, but it's a little different in football. But, a lot of other sports like hockey and things like that, it's not uncommon to see an 11 up against an 11, just for instance.
No, it's more so a college football thing. They're a bit more lax on their numbers for positions.
You often see a 90 doing the kicking.
Yes, and that never stops being strange.
Speaking of such things, if you haven't glanced at the ticker today, of course, the story of Steve Sarkisian, the head coach at USC, he is now officially fired as it comes down, and an offsides will spin it back the other way. 10 and change gone, first half, no score. He had taken an indefinite leave of absence from what was clearly being discussed as personal matters, but I think it was pretty clear what those matters were. Well, now athletic director Pat Hayden has announced that he is indeed fired, so they will have a new head coach officially at USC. Sad, messy situation there.
Very, and hard to believe the Trojans have fallen so far in such a short time.
You think back not all that long ago to the Matt Leinart, Pete Carroll days, and a trip here. Going down goes Torres. Jumps right back up. But the Pete Carroll, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush days, now they all seem like a distant memory. Which is one of my favorite NCAA things, where they'll strip something and in your memory you're supposed to say, oops, it never happened.
Rob, our director Eric has handed me an update here. Royals 9-6. Final score.
Wow. The Astros had a 6-3 lead in that game, and the Royals put a 5 spot up in the 8th.
Playoff baseball.
So we will see a Game 5 in that series, which is a lot of fun. Sent across to the near side. And it's controlled by Almeida of the Falcons. Three more games to go on this day. One of them already off and running, and the Blue Jays with a huge lead at last check on the Rangers. Speaking about trying to get to a Game 5, the last I saw, that was Blue Jays leading the Rangers 6-0.
Saw a bit of a shove there from George Kachubris. Did I say that right? I hope so, George. Sorry if I didn't.
I think you did okay.
No penalty, but they did lose possession.
We've got no score into the 13th minute here at Taft Field. Sent down and not even looking for Ludlowe was Nicholas Stahl. Had his back turned as it came in, but it was rolling right toward him.
Cleared out almost immediately by the Bears.
Yeah. As this goes out of bounds on the far side. So still 2 more full games in Major League Baseball playoffs to be played today, including some game later tonight somewhere, I don't know. Off the throw-in and gets knocked right back out. I will say this, if you're Matt Harvey, you get even by pitching a good game. Off the throw-in, don't worry about hitting. Save the hitting someone for next year. Then get thrown out. But right now it's the playoffs. 13 minutes gone. We're into minute number 14 on a beautiful Monday afternoon. You will sign for this kind of weather. I will anyway. At any time of year, I will take this.
Absolutely. Another week, 2 weeks. I'd settle for 3.
Yeah, I would as well. $26.5 to go, first half. Now getting ready to throw it in, the Bears with Kachubris. See, I've got your back on the pronunciation.
I appreciate that.
The long kick in, all scrambling for it, goes towards Santiago Mesa, but turned back around. Now sent back the other way by Jose Caraval. They're saying 67 degrees when we started here today, and if that's the case, I don't care. I'll take it. I'm good with it. Although I just glanced at another one, and I see 71. I'm going 71.
Split the difference. We'll call it 70.
Okay. Sent down by Trip McGarry, excuse me. And down it goes to Tyler Dalton. No score between Norwalk and Ludlowe in the first half. Off the goalie kick, back out. Into the Ludlowe zone. Controlled by Almeida. Had it get away.
Oh.
course, the cries of wake up ref from the folks here.
Yeah, Nicholas Stahl there didn't even really try to play the ball. He really ran into the Bears defender.
Yeah, I think
that's what the crowd is yelling about.
Yeah, I think it was Estevan Restrepo. As it gets sent back the other way through a couple of headers. Tulio Almeida was there. Almeida, the senior for Ludlowe. Now here come the Bears. Had a chance for a 3-on-2, but had it taken away by Brendan Lane. If anything, the official strikes me as letting them play right now.
Which I'm always in favor of, but you never want to see it get dirty.
Absolutely not. Almeida goes down for a moment, and the whistle stops things. As we come up on the end of the 16th minute in the first half with no score, and our thanks to Athletic Director Dave Schultz here at Fairfield Ludlowe. On the ribbon board above the scoreboard, it says HAN Network streaming live tonight's boys soccer game. So Dave did that the last time we were here as well, and we appreciate it.
And the referee having a quick conversation with Alexander Escalante about some of that contact.
As it bounces out of the corner, and they'll need a new ball because that went well out of the stadium. No score first half. This one a later start today. Of course, it is Columbus Day.
You wonder if some of the shadows will start playing into things here before too long.
You do wonder as they get across here on the field now. Sun mostly behind us off the corner kick.
Decides not to go for the big cross this time.
I agree.
Plays it short.
But works it down and right out in front.
Great save.
Dalton just slid over to his left and caressed it into his belly.
Great awareness about where the play was going, and he had himself in a perfect position.
An impressive ball movement by the Falcons. I thought they got that off, as you said, not the long pooch, just a little corner kick. I thought the Falcons did a very good job of creating a chance there. But
they did. And that's the second time they've come very close today and been denied.
So still no score. We're into minute number 18 on a 70-degree Monday afternoon. Brought over to the near side. That's Tarcio Almeida. Trying to work it across, set it up. Almeida stops, looks, trying to work around the defender, and a good job to get it away, Jose Caraval. And I believe that's Carvajal, excuse me, I've been saying it incorrectly.
Carvajal is what's printed.
Carvajal. So off the throw-in. Trying to reset it. Work it back out to Damaso. Damaso will play it all the way out. Now the long pooch down, and climbing on top of it is Dalton. Still no score as we're heading toward the midway mark of this first half. The long goalie kick sends it in.
Crowd not happy with that change of possession.
Crowd is never happy.
That is true. They are especially unhappy about this one.
It'd be an interesting conversation. Who are the most passionate fans in terms of such things, really getting into it and even, yelling at the teams and the officials and all that? Would it be soccer?
I think worldwide it might have to be.
I think as well. Here's the approach and the long boot. And the push will turn it back the other way as we head toward the mid-mark of the first half. No score. Certainly fans are known to be loquacious in every sport. At least that has been my experience. Plenty of yelling going on with American football.
Every sport on every level, unfortunately, sometimes. And
sometimes to a detriment, and sometimes just, good raw energy. But there have been detrimental behavior as well.
And there's a time and a place for it.
Mm-hmm.
You boo a ref for making a bad call. Don't boo him because he made a call.
McGarry fell down. He jumps right back up, getting tangled up with Hernandez. And they'll work it across. Good ball movement again by these Falcons. We're looking for their 8th win on the year. Along the far side, holding his arms up, waiting is Tulio Almeida. Now he gets it, settling right between the football hash marks. Looks to his right, sends it right. Sends it back the other way. And of the soccer games we have done so far, we have only seen one on a true soccer field. Everything else has been on a multi-purpose field as this heads toward Roger Ludlowe Middle School. The game at Stamford last week was on a true soccer field.
And we have some subs coming in for the Falcons. Number 14, Alec Williams, and I believe that's number 5, David Bates.
Makes sense. Still no score. Bears and Falcons, first half. Coming back out near the midfield, and the header off of Estevan Restrepo. Down the near side it comes. David Bates, indeed. Bates through traffic, trying to get around the double team. Past Torres. Sends it right over
Great
toward
touch on that pass.
Jack Scoville of the Falcons.
It's not a great angle for a shot that he took.
George Katubris. Down the near side, Katubris gets it back. Bears with a little extra touch of having the number on their shorts as opposed to on the front of their jersey.
That comes in much more handy than I had anticipated it would.
While for the Falcons, they've got the number on the front of the jersey, which in soccer parlance is more commonly known as a kit as opposed to a uniform. So it'll be thrown in by the Falcons.
Subs again for the Falcons, Julian Johansson coming in.
Damaso sends it across. Just trying to work it forward in a scoreless match so far. Rolling down the far side.
And he chose not to pursue that. I believe he would have been called offsides if he had. Though, as in hockey, my knowledge of what exactly offsides is entirely limited.
I'm good on offsides in hockey. This bounces all the way down. Spinning around go the Bears. Santiago Mesa. To the far side, Christian Moncada, sophomore. Back toward Alexander Escalante. Some great names. That's Alexander Escalante. Just Bob Shepard would have loved that.
Yes, he would have.
Did you ever hear what Bob Shepard's 2 favorite names were to say?
I have heard this story, but the names themselves are escaping me at the moment.
I will get to them in a minute. One is easy. Far side for the Bears. Scoreless game, and the whistle stopping things. 16:45 to go, first half, no score. One just rolled right off his tongue. He loved it. And, of course, it's a name that we all know, and I think even non-sports fans know number 7, Mickey Mantle. He loved saying Mickey Mantle. And great alliteration there, of course.
Definitely. Just a little touch of the consonant at the end.
Mickey Mantle, of course, the great center fielder for the Yankees, was also named after a catcher. He was named after Mickey Cochran. Good thing Mutt Mantle didn't know that Mickey Cochran's given name was Gordon. He would have been Gordon Mantle. But the other one
doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
No, the other one was a pitcher for the California Anaheim Angels named Shigetoshi Hasagawa. He loved saying that name.
God bless you.
Exactly. He was a pretty good pitcher, too, for a brief spell. Still no score, as Dalton will make the approach. I don't think I could kick it 45 yards the way he just did. I'd be lucky if I could get it 25 yards.
It's much easier with a soccer ball than with anything else, but you would have to work at it.
Bouncing off the head of Santiago Mesa. I will say I appreciate the passion of the fans, and they're right down below us, so it's great stuff. Scoreless match. Heading toward the end of the 25th minute.
And just a little too deep on that through pass again.
So Dalton will reset.
The Falcons are getting close, but they're not able to quite convert some of these chances just yet.
Substitution for the Falcons. Nick DeMasso comes off.
I believe that's Almeida coming back on.
Yep. And there are two Almeidas on the pitch. It's Tulio and Tarcio.
That would be Tulio coming on.
Correct. New turf field that's been put down here. Looks fantastic.
Brand new this year, correct?
Yeah.
As we were here for the FCAC tour, they were still installing it.
As we were here for a Handemonium, which you named, put right on net. Big blast, and Dalton climbed the ladder to grab it. And a nice crowd is filled in here. It's not very full, and granted, it's a day in which school is closed, but still, like what I see here today. Rolls out to the near side, and a friendly photographer retrieves it. So it'll be thrown in by Norwalk and Carvajal. Still scoreless. Alec Williams went to play it for the Falcons, turns it back. Julian Johansson will take it. Now it goes over across to Andres Arias. Arias and Restrepo getting tangled up over there.
Johansson was in position, but just a little too much not enough touch on the ball there.
13 and change left in the first half as it bounces out. And it looks like some other changes will be coming in. From the looks of it, subs on each side in this case. Good match so far. A couple of opportunities, especially more so for Ludlowe. We haven't seen much in the way of opportunities for Norwalk yet.
No, but they're hanging in and they're playing.
This one's close. Comes over near side and grabbing it is Dalton. The keeper comes out and keeps it.
To make a terrible goalkeeper pun, Dalton has had his hands full.
I kind of like it.
I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm liking it. This ball will roll right over, and Sean Saylor will do nothing to grab it. But it went right to his camera.
That would be an athletic play by Sean if he had gone down there to get it. I don't know if he has quite the range.
Don't let him fool you. Carvajal will throw it in to Mesa. Rolling deep, but Hernandez couldn't do much with it. That's some of the better penetration we've seen by the Bears so far.
I think that's been their best through shot at getting some offense, but just a little too much on the pass.
Marr back out to midfield. Bounces near side, controlled by Torres. Spinning around is Katubris. No score. Under 12 to go in the first half.
Fed back through by the Falcons, but nobody there to play it.
Arias for the Bears. Sends it down. McGarry initially. Now McGarry getting tangled up there. Bears able to control it. They set and bring it over. Good look here. Torres, but didn't get a lot on the kick. He tried to make what I would describe as almost a one-timer, as such thing would exist in soccer. But
he fell down as he was trying to actually connect with the shot and just didn't get enough on it.
And thus it rolled easily and weakly to Marr. So still no score. But again, 2 straight possessions basically that Norwalk's put some good movement on the ball. But down the near side for the Falcons goes David Bates.
Tackled hard.
And Bates staying down for a moment.
And we will have an injury stoppage.
And we'll have, from the looks of it,
he may have a penalty.
I thought I saw him reaching for a card, but no indication yet.
As did I.
Now they did stop the clock at 11:03 to go in the first half. We'll hang around for a moment until we get a sense whether or not we need to take a break yet. Some of the Bears talking things over with the officials. There's the card.
A red card.
Oh my gosh. That is a red card going
for Carvajal.
Yep.
He's out. And you hate to speculate, but you wonder if the call is for the action or for the reaction. From our vantage point, it certainly did not appear that the contact was all that severe, but Bates went down immediately, and I frankly could hear him screaming in pain. That was not a good result to that play.
Let us grab a break here while they deal with the injured Fairfield Ludlowe Falcon. We will take a timeout from here at Ludlowe High School's Taft Field. No score will reset things between Norwalk and Fairfield Ludlowe right after this. You're watching Boys Soccer. It's the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Have no fear. HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone, sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
Back at Taft Field in Fairfield with A.J. Simonowski, I'm Rob Adams. We have a scoreless game between Norwalk and Ludlowe, but the situation that you're watching right now kind of tells you the story as members of the Fairfield Ludlowe staff and their keeper, Frederick Marr, are over top of David Bates, the junior, who was injured in a collision right down at what you would call the football touchdown, the goal line. Of course, this being soccer, you've got you got about 10 more yards to go to the net. But just to give you the idea of where things are, he collided with Jose Carvajal, the junior from Norwalk, and Carvajal has received a red card here in the 29th minute.
The unfortunate first red card in the history of soccer on the HAN network. Unfortunately, had to accompany such a apparently serious injury. We never like to speculate on what may have actually occurred to young David Bates, but we hope for good things. He has not moved since the trainers came out and appear to be working on On his right knee, Rob, can you tell? Are they working on his knee or his ankle?
It looks more toward the knee, but I would be foolish to even try to speculate. But, you can see obviously on the shot, AJ, but I've got a decent look through the binoculars as well. But as you said, we won't go on and speculate. He's got his arms up over his head, of course, as you can see there on the shot, unless you're just listening to us. And I know some folks do still take the old radio approach, even if you're watching the video, or if you have the video on, some still listen. Thus, we try to combine the call and give you as much detail as we can. But they are tending to him still.
Still very clearly in pain. And just saw one of the trainers remove what looked like an ice bag from that right knee, now reapplying it.
Absolutely. Puts his left arm up over kind of on his eyes for a moment, and now stretches back out again.
And as we saw during the play, the contact did not look all that severe. But Bates went down almost immediately, and play continued for a second or two before the referee blew the whistle.
Yep.
Nobody here was even really sure if it was simply a soccer player taking a dive, as they're known to do.
Right.
But it was clear pretty quickly that this had been a pretty serious injury, and then Carvajal sent off with the red card.
And what I spied a few minutes ago while we were in break, which concerned me, and I know it concerned all of us up here, Athletic Director Dave Schultz had his phone up to his ear, and I was afraid of what he was calling for, and sure enough.
Was out there on his phone almost immediately. You can see the ambulance here pulling up across from the now far end zone, looking to get the paramedics out onto the field.
So now they're going to try to figure out the best way to do that at this point. Bates, in the meantime, is sitting up, putting a little weight on his arms and just in a sitting up position now. You can see him, his number 5, and a pat on the back. Actually, a wry smile from him just there a moment ago. It's head coach Kevin O'Hara with a pat on the head and then on his back.
And unless my eyes deceive me, off in that direction, there is also a fire engine pulling in here at Fairfield Ludlowe.
In the meantime, both teams standing in separate piles. The Falcons in a group about 35 yards away from the action, and about 20 yards away, some of the Bears are either standing around or just kicking the ball around. In the meantime, at the other end of the field, the ball boys all decided to have their own pickup game for a few minutes. So everyone's trying to stay as loose as they can under the circumstances. Again, to recap, David Bates collided with Jose Carvajal 10 yards from the net.
And I was correct. Ladder number 1 of the Fairfield Fire Department is on scene as well, likely with paramedics of their own.
And
closest person to get the call shows up. Sometimes it's fire, sometimes it's EMS, sometimes it's the police.
To add to all of this, we're still in a scoreless match, although obviously that is the least of the concerns at this moment. But the game will resume, and Bates sitting up, initially looking around, taking a look at things. You can spy now the bigger ice pack on his right knee.
Yep. And both of the trainers checking and rechecking that as often as they can.
I'm reaching over as if it would almost be a telestrator, and I know I can't do that.
We should have a telestrator. We'll have to talk to the higher ups about getting a telestrator.
So now, what I would presumably call an EMT has come over, although that might not be the right nomenclature for the moment. And indeed, members of that Fairfield Ladder 1 also making their way over. So Bates will get all the help he can possibly want.
He'll have his own convoy on the way out, though certainly not what he hoped for this afternoon.
So certainly a concerning situation, but he seems to be in what I would describe as okay spirits, only because I did glance and see him smile at one point.
You have to look at some of the positive signs. He is conscious. He is moving around. He's not screaming in pain anymore.
And I spied a moment ago him talking to the member of the Fairfield Fire Department that is leaning over him right now. So certainly not what anybody wants to see. And now members of the Norwalk team come over as well. At least one of their coaches has strolled over in a scoreless match between these two, and it's been a good one so far otherwise.
It really has. More on the offensive side from Ludlowe. They've had a few more chances, a couple of shots missed and saved, not missed, saved by inches by Tyler Dalton for the Bears. And the Bears just starting to get some offense going on their own before sent back down on the Ludlowe end, and this collision happened.
Looks like Jake Arrieta's scoreless streak, which was 40 2/3 innings, the longest in the 102-year history of Wrigley Field, is over. Cubs and Cardinals tied at 1 in the NLDS. That's what I just saw.
Our director.
No, excuse me. They're tied at a game. Beg your pardon, Eric. No, that is not a score. Now that I'm glancing, that was actually the announcement of the game starting. Excuse me. So they're tied at 1 in the series, but not in the game.
Our director, Eric's confused expression now validated.
Yes. And the concern continues. You can see some of the fans looking over. And now they are getting ready to start moving David Bates toward the gurney.
They have taken his right cleat off as well. Just saw that come off.
While they do that, another chance for us to step out, take a break. Again, we're in a stoppage right now due to the collision and injury of David Bates of Fairfield Ludlowe. No score as they tend to the junior from Fairfield Ludlowe. We have 11:03 to go in the first half. In the 29th minute, no score between Ludlowe and Norwalk. It's boys soccer. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
All right, back here at Taft Field at Fairfield Ludlowe, David Bates now being rolled off. Some good, quick work by both the ambulance with the EMTs and Fairfield Ladder 1 to get David Bates out of here and get him into an ambulance and onto the hospital where he will be tended to. At least that is purely an assumption on my part.
And a hearty round of applause from the crowd as he was wheeled off. No customary thumbs up, though, so
no.
By that measure, we can't determine whether or not he's okay.
But I do think otherwise. He was, in pretty good spirits. He smiled at one point.
Truly, he was, we have to, taking the glass half full approach, he is conscious, he is moving around.
Right.
So, while the reaction to the injury certainly appears not to be very good, he himself seems to be okay.
Now, in the meantime, you will not see number 16, Jose Carvajal, on the pitch because Carvajal received a red card here in the 29th minute.
I admit to not be up on the rules. Does that have implication for Carvajal in Norwalk's next game or beyond?
It very well should, yes. All right. The Falcons will get it back as Restrepo and Tarcio Almeida both come over, and they will line things up on the near side.
And confer on a plan of attack before they get set.
So the kick will come from right there. Almeida lining it up. There's the whistle, and away we go. And the kick coming off the side of the net from Restrepo. He holds his head up in frustration and walks it off.
A very good try from that spot, but he just pulled it a little too much to the left.
A little frustration as he glanced at the sky, and so we play on in a scoreless match.
Dalton surveying things from the end as he prepares to send it back.
And with that red card, and I just got reminded of it, AJ, Norwalk should have to play a man down now.
I believe that's correct. Our director, Eric Gendron, doing a quick head count of the Bears and confirming that appears to be correct.
From Dave Stewart, Staples and New Canaan boys soccer, a scoreless tie at Connor Field in New Canaan, thanks to Dave.
And another Falcon hits the deck, but he appears to be okay. That was Tarcio Almeida.
Here we have a scoreless tie in the first half, though, and we're under 10 to go. Played back out toward midfield, bouncing around off the head of Trip McGarry. Off to the far side it goes. Over to play it is Nicholas Stahl of the Falcons. Scoreless tie, first half. Bates has yet to leave the facility. Looks like he, along with a police officer and the ladder truck, are about to drive away, but Bates is in the ambulance at the back of that end zone to our left. They will drive away momentarily while the police and fire truck have both departed.
Due to the traffic flow around Taft Field here, there is only one way for them to get out.
That is true.
And the fire truck was in the way.
The ambulance has turned its lights off for what little that's worth. I just figure I'm giving you the full description here. As it's thrown back in, you can see the pictures. We can see the extra stuff. And I think, to be fair, a big shout out to both the fire and EMT, because those are the guys and girls that keep everybody safe. So thanks to all of them and the police as well. In this era of so many weird things going on, certainly want to give the positive as the ambulance drives away. So good job by everybody to be so attentive to David Bates, and we wish him certainly a lot of luck.
And always a good response. Always good to see them here in such a quick response time.
Exactly my point. All right, so we play on with 8:27 to go in the first half. Games do continue. And to the far side it goes. Almost looking like McGarry wanted to
catch that and then thought better of it, remembering that he is, in fact, a soccer player.
Which, could have very well just been the way he plays the ball in a moment like that, but it looked funny from our perspective, trying to roll it ahead to Tarcio Almeida. Now it goes over to Matthias Nascimento.
It's a big kick, but outkicks everyone.
Outkicks that coverage.
Nearly sent that one out onto Nancy Larson Way.
Absolutely. Under 8 to go, first half. No score. So Tyler Dalton will place it down. Make the approach. Going to get some information momentarily, so bear with me on that. 7:25 to go first half. Comes over near side. Bounced out of bounds and away from Brendan Lane.
Nicholas Guzman on the throw-in.
Came right back to Guzman. And what we had unfortunately speculated looks like it was true. It was the knee of David Bates. Now, in this era, of course, of HIPAA laws and such things, I am less inclined to give more information than that, as it's sent just wide.
Oh. Tulio Almeida there on the shot and made a fantastic move on the defender and just pushed it a little bit off to his left.
And the other thing, and this has always been a big belief of mine, is we need to be responsible for those watching. You don't know what members of family are watching and things like that. They don't need to learn things from us, especially if we're wrong. So I'm always hesitant as to what I give.
Subs coming in for the Bears. Santiago Mesa heads off. And a young man who I cannot yet identify has come on to take his place.
Heading back out toward midfield. The header from from Matthew Hernandez, freshman.
It's Michael Hidalgo that has come on, also a freshman.
Over near side and knocked away. Under 6 to go. Nice crowd on hand. Temperatures beginning to dip as the sun makes its official descent. Field all in shadows now. Parts of Roger Ludlowe Middle School still bathed in some sun, but overall.
Nascimento there with the jumping steal. How he controlled that ball. And a little bit of a shoulder bump on his way out of bounds. The crowd griping about the lack of a call again.
Well, this one group right here has been groaning pretty much all day. As down it goes, bouncing to Dalton. But they've been fun.
Richie Bellucci with the header there, and just a great look, but Dalton in the right place yet again.
Nascimento and Guzman. Guzman got the better of it. The corner kick coming here. No score. Under 5 to go in the first half. They'll make the approach. Here it comes. Sent across.
Not a whole lot of air under that cross, and that's not what you want to have happen.
Trying to get it to Hidalgo. Hidalgo took a little push from McGarry, and we'll get a whistle here.
A bit of an aggressive tackle. Clock stopped yet again. The referees will confer. We may have another call.
Let's see. .425 to go, first half.
A yellow card.
No score for sure.
I believe that's McGarry that they gave the card to.
Yeah, had to be. For sure, Ludlowe has had the better of the opportunities. Norwalk has had a couple of chances, but the field has largely been tilted toward Tyler Dalton. Now McGarry will come out. And here's the approach and the kick.
A perfectly placed ball, but the Bears not able to come up with the header there.
To the far side it goes. Spinning around Mason Jennings for the Falcons. Coming down to the end of the 36th minute, first half.
Tulio Almeida getting into it. Some shoving and some words, and actually spiked the ball on the opposing Bear. Referee has them separated.
And no cards.
No cards. He's getting a little bit testy.
A little chippy. We'll see. Bouncing off a couple of heads for the Falcons. Getting away for a moment from Mason Jennings. We'll send it out on that far side. Subs coming. Heading off goes Jonathan Prisco, the senior for Ludlowe.
And McGarry comes back in for the Falcons.
Coming down to the end of the 37th minute in the first half.
Matthew Hernandez out for the Bears.
Off the throw-in, the header goes right to Dalton.
Right to Dalton again.
Dalton's been good.
He's been very good. Very, very good tonight. I should be keeping score, though I'm not. That's easily his 5th or 6th save.
Sent back out.
Straight up in the air.
Near side it goes. They try to work it with the Bears, but it's the Falcons who grab it back. Almeida along the near side. Sends it rolling down along the football numbers, and over to grab it goes Dalton. If you're just joining us, this half taking a little bit longer than expected. We had an injury at the 29th minute as David Bates went off with an injured knee. Two players.
George Katubris goes flying in an attempt for a header there.
So it'll be picked up by McGarry with just about 2 minutes to go in the first half. They'll roll it across to the far side. Patrick Hogan over there for the Falcons. Now on the throw-in for Fairfield Ludlowe. Controlled by Katubris. The Bears trying to get something going here. Rolling it over near side.
A good pass there, but just a little bit behind Alexander Torres. Wasn't able to do very much with it.
Richie Bellucci did a nice job. Substitution coming on for the Bears.
As Michael Hidalgo heads off. And I believe Santiago Mesa has checked back in.
Throw-in coming here. Damaso and Mesa right there. Now spun back by Almeida. Tarcio Almeida sent it across. Now grabbed and controlled and hitting the bar. Hit the upper right corner.
Nascimento had put everything he could on that shot. And just a little bit more spin.
That was a
That
bullet.
would have gone. That might have put a hole in the net if it had gone in.
That was fantastic. Now a Bear goes down off the trip from Tarcio Almeida. And again,
retaliation a little bit.
Got to watch things here a little bit. Going down on the turf was Katubris.
And Nicholas Stalin, I'll say retaliation, but it certainly did not appear to be intentional on any part by the Bears. The ref's right in there to clear things up, though.
So Dalton will make the approach and the boot with 10 to go. Sends it down. Bounces off a Bear. Out it goes, and the clock will expire on a fascinating and even slightly unfortunate first half. No score.
Truly, you've seen a lot of very good offense from the Bears. From the Falcons, some excellent work in goal from Tyler Dalton for the Bears this time. Got that right. And unfortunately, the injury to David Bates, we hope he's okay. Indications are that it is a knee injury, and especially for a sport that contains as much running as you do in soccer, that's a killer. We hope the best for David Bates.
First half comes to an end with Norwalk and Fairfield Ludlowe playing to a scoreless draw. We'll take a timeout and regroup here, and we'll see where we go at the end of the first half. End of 40 minutes of play. It is scoreless between Norwalk and Fairfield Ludlowe. You're watching boys soccer. It's the FCAC on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, docshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com. Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics.
We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Back at Taft Field, Fairfield Ludlowe High School. Boys soccer here on the HAN Network, and our score, Ludlowe 0, Norwalk 0. Eric Gendron joining me now here at halftime. I'm Rob Adams, and obviously the story of the first half initially is going to be the David Bates injury, but also some good chances, more so for Ludlowe.
Yeah, absolutely, Robin. Thanks for having me. Hey, it's been a while since I've been on this side of the things.
I know. Welcome back.
Thanks. Been on the directing quite a bit here, but no, you're absolutely right. Ludlowe has, I got to say, close to dominated that half as far as chances go. And, Norwalk kind of taking out a lot of frustrations on them. It's getting a little chippy there towards the last few minutes, especially after the David Bates injury. And we'll have to see if Norwalk can kind of channel that frustration into some more chances, because really right now it seems like Ludlow's knocking on the door.
And now to be official, because I goofed on what I briefly read before, Cubs-Cardinals now underway. Jake Arrieta has dealt a strike to Matt Carpenter. So there you go. I feel better.
I got scared there. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize. When I first glanced at the little note on Twitter, I thought, well, wait a minute, that's not. But anyway, so they're playing.
Okay.
So now that's underway, and Ludlowe already back on the field. The Bears have yet to reemerge. They're down in the far corner from our perspective. I mean, they're down a man now for the rest of the match anyway. What do they got to do?
They got to focus. I mean, they can't let their emotions get away from them there, and it seemed like that was the case in the final 5 minutes of that half. And, I think their coach has to kind of rein them back in and remind them, hey, you're down a man. You got to play absolutely 100% focused to beat a very good Ludlowe team.
And that is the case because Ludlowe with 7 wins on the year and Norwalk at 2-5-3. So certainly for the Bears, and I agree with you, I think playing and watching your emotions, emotions can be a good thing, but sometimes too much of it, especially the negative stuff, getting chippy, it's just not going to help you in the long run.
And I suddenly was reminded of a broadcast we did a week ago today, I believe, all the days bleeding together here, in Ridgefield between Darien and Ridgefield field hockey, where the goalie for Ridgefield had a fantastic first half, which is the case for Tyler Dalton here for Norwalk. He has had some great saves and some great help from his crossbar.
Yeah,
two shots right off the crossbar, Norwalk. Norwalk has had a lot of luck in goal right now, but it seems like Fairfield is knocking on the door.
Quick timeout, and then we come back to start the second half. No score. Fairfield, Ludlowe, and Norwalk. Back to Taft Field after this. You're watching Boys Soccer. It's the FCAC on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Almost time for the second half. With Eric Gendron, I'm Rob Adams. A.J. Simonowski now directing. And a note from Ray Kern via Twitter, a 15-play, 90-yard drive on Shelton's opening drive, and Kevin Robinson from a yard out. The Gales lead West Haven 7-0. Strange to have football scores on a Monday, but there are 2 games going on in the CIAC today.
I like a little bit of Monday Night Football for high school.
Yeah, I'm not against it. It's just weird.
Prefer it over Saturdays, at least for my schedule.
When I first started, Saturdays was almost all I ever did, especially back then because Greenwich didn't have lights, and not everybody did have lights around this area.
It was rare for a long time.
Yeah. But now it's Friday night lights, all the rage around Connecticut, and off we go, second half. Near side it comes as Ludlowe will go from left to right.
Now, I'm going to admit, Rob, this is a little strange for me, being on this side of the graphics here.
Strange to hear you standing next to me again. Yep. Sent ahead for the Falcons, trying to feed it through. Good look inside, but they can't get a lot on it. Good connection there as it was Stahl tangled up with Karasokos for Norwalk.
And it seems like more of the same for Ludlowe. They are pressing hard right away to start.
Karaiskos, excuse me.
Karaiskos.
Is that it? Karaiskos? All right. I like it.
Nice Irish boy.
McGarry will go and retrieve it, send it all the way back to Frederick Marr, who seems a little lonely at times down there. Yeah, most of the action has headed toward Tyler Dalton.
Norwalk has had a very hard time putting any pressure in that Ludlowe end.
Norwalk able to retrieve it. They'll settle things down. Escalante will send it back toward Dalton. And Dalton will return it right over toward near the ball boy. Cameras have shifted up now, so the Sean Saylor camera seems to be occupied by Anna. In a scoreless match, 90 seconds gone by, second half.
The director in me keeps wanting to call out camera directions, but I got to let go of that control.
Don't confuse. Don't be confused. Here comes the throw in from Nascimento. Sent down and whoa! How did that go in? Looked like it was heading wide, and instead it's a goal, and Ludlowe takes a bizarre 1-0 lead.
That was a knuckleball and a half there. I mean, how did that get in?
I still don't know.
There must have been a deflection in front there because that thing just curved back in a weird way that you don't see too often. And Ludlowe jumps out to the 1-0 lead. And we were saying it certainly seemed like Falcons were knocking on the door. And there they go.
So in the 42nd minute, it's 1-0. And I'm giving it to Tulio Almeida, at least the way that I saw the reaction. Almeida was the one who took the swan dive out on the turf. So my thinking is he got it, and it's 1-0. But how about that? As a whistle will slow things up here for a moment. So Ludlowe grabs the 1-0 lead.
Well, that's definitely one of the stranger goals we've seen, huh, Rob?
Yeah.
I mean, took a shot from about 15, 20 yards out.
Yeah.
And, it seemed destined to miss wide left and somehow just shifted back into the net.
And Almeida does get the goal thanks to Dave Schultz. And collisions out in front of the Ludlowe net.
Oh, some more pushing and shoving, and the emotions seem to not have abated.
No.
Over halftime.
Well, and factor in now that Norwalk's down a goal.
Things could get emotional.
Yeah, that looks like
the least.
That looked like Estevan Restrepo in the middle of that. By the way, and full credit to the concession stand here, the French fries smell outstanding. Just figure I'll send that along. I'm sure we're a hungry crew at this point.
Looked like the whistle was grabbing on the shoulders there for elevation on that corner kick.
Yes. Back to the near side. Norwalk needs an answer. Down 1. As we're just about 4 minutes into the second half. It'll be thrown in by Arias. For Norwalk, they're in the green. Throw into the near side to Santiago Mesa. Everybody pointing the opposite way, and of course, the officials get the final say. A chant of "Let's go Ludlowe." And then a young lady right below us decided to respond in kind for the green and white. On the near side, Katubris trying to work it down that near side. He got tangled up with his opposite number 10, Tulio Almeida, who has the goal in this game. 1-0 our score. Working through. Falcons settling things down. Setting. Almeida climbs the crossbar. Boy, the bar has been favorable to Norwalk 3 times now.
What a leap by Dalton there. And I think it still was, he was safe there with a crossbar hit. But, man, he got pretty close to matching the crossbar with that leap to his left.
Tarcio Almeida with the big blast, and we still play on it 1-0. Far side for the Bears. Katubris there. Again, I often have to laugh. The old terminology, smell-o-vision, does not exist, but the French fries smell fantastic right below the booth. As it rolls over to the right side, and setting things up will be Tyler Dalton. Dalton at times has felt like he's been under siege, but he has played well.
Can't really blame him for the one goal that that is on this game right now.
Just as you said, and I think that's the best way to put it, a knuckleball. This will bounce over, right over near the sideline. It'll be tossed right back in.
I think what was the weirdest thing is that it was on the ground the whole time, I believe.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Looked like a mini golf track. One of those ramps or something. Back into the net.
Rolled right over to Dave Schultz on his cell phone. Hopefully that's a better phone call than the one he had to make in the first half.
Never a good thing to see.
No. David Bates left this game injured in the 29th minute. A knee injury as it's sent down off the kick in, bounced around and just wide. Looked like Escalante just missed.
It looked like there was a Norwalk player right in behind the Ludlowe guy and Ludlowe defenseman. And, man, I'm not sure if Ludlowe kicked that out or if Norwalk just choked on the open net. It was a bang-bang play right down in front of the goal line.
I just saw Darren Ravel, who is off the throw-in. We'll hold on here for a moment as it comes in close, and the nice grab by Marr. But Darren Ravel is a little bit of a polarizing person on Twitter, but he just posted a picture. Parking near Wrigley Field, $100 tonight.
Oh.
And in the meantime, Shelton has a 14-0 lead on West Haven. That is high school football. Lights on and in effect here at Taft Field.
I don't even think Fenway ever charged that much during the playoffs, even during the pre-World Series days.
I can think of 60 near Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
but I have to admit I haven't parked near Yankee Stadium in quite a while, thankfully. The introduction of Metro North was huge. Over to the near side. And folks from the north always knew it would be, and ridiculous that it took as long as it did. Off to the near side it comes. Falcons turn it back to the Bears. Now the Falcons get it again. They're in the white, the Bears in the green. This will just bounce down and up into the arms of Tyler Dalton. 8 and change gone as we enter minute number 9 of the second half, 49th minute overall. 1-0 our score as Tulio Almeida scored in the 42nd minute. Turned around by the Falcons. Now to be snagged by Katubris. He and Tulio Almeida tangled on the far, right in front of the scorer's table. And then it's so much fun to watch everybody pointing the opposite way. Doesn't matter the sport.
It's always your ball.
Oh, yeah. Tulio Almeida just kind of grabbed it as the whistle stopped things.
Beautiful sky right now here as we get into the twilight hours.
Oh, it's just beautiful. You're right. Somebody painting a beautiful picture this evening.
I always credit Bob Ross.
And with good reason. Those are some happy clouds.
Yes.
The approach will be made by Trip McGarry. Taking his time and now gets it in. Comes over near side. Richie Bellucci starts his approach, gets tangled up. He and Guzman for the Bears. Tarcio Almeida tried to get in the middle of that fracas as it comes over to the near side.
You're a fracas guy? I'm more of a fracas guy.
I don't know that I've ever given it that much thought.
We've discussed these kinds of things before on the air.
We have. I'm not sure I've given that one much thought. I'm a ruckus guy, I'll tell you that much. Anytime I can work in ruckus, because that to me is a reference to the Breakfast Club. Can you describe the ruckus? Right down the hash marks it goes. Good job to work it away. Off to that far side, spinning around are the Bears. Looks like another Falcon down and slow to get up. And he is still down. He jumps right back. I believe it's Jack Scoville, but I can't tell for sure. I think that's number 4. Now they blow the whistle as he sits up. He started to get up and move. This is all the way down to our right side. Actually, no, correction. It's Richie Bellucci, number 6, now that we get a better look at it. Thanks to AJ and the guys for pulling up the shot. He started to jump back up and move, and very, very quickly he's joined by a member of the Norwalk team to make sure that he's okay. But he did start running and then went right back down. So whatever it is, they are tending to him and now pulling him right back up onto his feet.
Again, we don't like to speculate, but has the classic appearance of a cramp.
It does. the way he's walking is certainly much better. Initially, it didn't look good, but a lot better now.
After the night we've had, we don't want to see another one of those.
No, I'm sure we can all agree we didn't want to see what we saw in the first half. One nothing. The home team on top, Fairfield Ludlowe. Tulio Almeida in the 42nd minute. Interesting the things you can spy as you keep your eye on Twitter. Everyone's freaking out right now because apparently Deadspin's Twitter account has been suspended for some reason.
That could be about literally anything.
It could be. That's the funny thing. If you're a sports fan, you're likely to know Deadspin pretty well.
Yeah.
I have to admit, for my money, and we won't spend too much time on this, but Deadspin not even remotely what it used to be under the Will Leach regime. And you're going back several years now when you talk about Will Leach. He's been gone for a while.
I try to pay it no mind these days.
Yeah. I mean, it may spin a little something worth paying attention to, but that's about it for me.
It's more dead than spin these days.
All right. Back we go. As you can see, the light's very much taking effect here now. Maybe not as clearly on the monitor or on your screen as it is for us, but darkness truly falling here. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yes.
You're welcome. I was going to go with a darkness on the edge of town, but
okay. You're always going to go with Bruce. Or Huey.
Yeah. I don't have a good Darkness Huey Lewis song for you, though.
No, I don't think he wrote anything dark ever.
Nothing too dark. Did AJ just try to quote John Cafferty in the Beaver Brown Band? Yes, he did. That concerns me a great deal. As we get our 80s on here. 11 and a half minutes gone by from Eddie and the Cruisers. Back out come the Falcons. We are full service entertainment. That's the idea here. Over to the near side it comes and away from Tarcio Almeida. To be thrown back in by the Bears and Andres Arias. Down the near side it goes. Still 1-0. And they'll bring it right back in. In fact, a couple of balls come flying in. Frederick Marr picks the one he likes. And we'll reset things as we're into the 13th minute of the second half. 1-0 our score. There's NFL football tonight as well, he says, revealing his T-shirt. From San Diego tonight.
Oh, really? That should be a good game.
Well, you know, a city that was founded in 1904 by the Germans.
Not going to go any further on that quote.
Steelers and Chargers tonight. And plenty of San Diegans probably watching that game. Bouncing down it goes, and a good job to get it away. Nice work by the Falcons.
A great opportunity here for Norwalk. Not many set pieces for them tonight. Thus far, they really got to take advantage of this corner kick here. Looks like Arias is going to line up to take this one.
And he will make the approach. In a 1-0 game, just rolled it along the near side to Torres. And good defense by the Falcons to play it back out near midfield. They spin it back. Matthew Hernandez tried to do what he could with it. Instead, dancing around the man goes Stahl. Stahl gets it back, and the Falcons are able to set up shop. Sending it down and high, and too high in that case. A little bit of a buzz there, but that was heading toward the football crossbar as we'll get some substitutions.
We're getting every crossbar involved here now.
Yeah.
But Stahl had the last man beat, but he lost the ball in his own dribble and couldn't quite make that breakaway. That would have been something to see, one-on-one.
1-0 our score as we're into the 15th minute of the second half, so the 55th minute. And the Falcons moving from left to right. Nice ball moving over to the near side. And rolling it along that near side. Tarcio Almeida, wonderful skills.
Ooh.
Boy, that's some movement right there by him. He did eventually go out, but wow.
I don't think it ever went out. I think that was a generous call there by the ref. Wow, that was some ball handling right there.
I mean, I do that all the time, but headed out of bounds once again. Ball boys having a good time. Wearing those fluorescent smocks.
Always good to see engaged ball boys. I've covered some games where you got to get them to pay attention to the game a little too often.
Yeah. The throw in by Arias. Remember, as a result of the red card in the first half, the Bears are playing a man down in what is still a 1-0 game. Restrepo for the Falcons. All the way down it goes. Grabbed by the Falcons, and out it goes to the side of the net.
Matthew Hernandez of Norwalk was a little slow to get up. He's kind of limping down the field at the moment, but looks like he is okay.
Mike Suppy chiming in via Twitter. I can promise you all, I am not going Andres Cantor on anyone. As much fun as that would be.
We got another. Hernandez now does take a seat on the pitch as the clock does stop for the injury. He was slow to get up in the last volley down in the Norwalk offensive end. And now he has taken a seat at the 32-yard line on the football by football markers.
As they tend to what looks like his left leg.
A lot of stoppages in this one. And none bigger than the loss of David Bates. That was not a pretty injury there, and we wish him all the best. Hopefully he's being taken care of at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It was certainly a difficult spot there, and it brought a red card out toward Jose Carvajal of Norwalk. That all happened in the 29th minute as Hernandez walks off the field, noticeably limping. This has been a fairly aggressive game for sure. But Ludlowe still has the 1-0 lead.
You know, when I go through this footage and try to cut up some highlights of this game, I'm still not sure I'm going to be able to see what exactly happened on that goal. That's going to be one of the weirdest ones we ever see, I think.
Yeah. So corner kick coming. Off in the far corner. And the long boot coming across.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, seriously. And mass substitutions coming for Kevin O'Hara and Fairfield Ludlowe. They'll send in 4 new players.
You know, I tend to be in favor of the long kick in front for the corner kicks as opposed to the short one that Norwalk tried to pull off. But I think just hit the wrong part of the ball there on that attempted cross, and it sailed very wide.
Shelton on top of West Haven in high school football, 14-0, end of the first quarter. Excuse me, 14-7 is the score. 14-7, Shelton on top of West Haven. A little more of a chill here now as a whistle stops things and spins it back the other way for Norwalk. Escalante sends it down the near side.
Tommaso trying to get away with a push there, but the ref was having none of it.
And Patrick Hogan able to push it out. Been a fun, excitable crowd here. Back out to the far side it goes. Richie Bellucci, we saw him go down a little earlier with what appeared to be cramping up in his leg, but he is back.
Nice little through ball there, cross, but Norwalk able to clear it out.
Coming toward the end of the 58th minute, 1-0. That's sent out to the far side by Norwalk's Estevan Restrepo. Maybe if I put the roster right near the edge of the window, I get a little better light.
We're wanting for light in here. I'm sure we can remedy that situation.
I think we probably could.
Maybe Ms. Kate Shaplinsky could find us a light switch.
Bouncing around it goes. Oop, thrown off and wide.
I was keeping an eye on that one in case it took any more
There they
funky
are.
bounces.
Thanks, Kate. That works. All right, let there be light.
No need to suffer. It is the 21st century.
It is, although I know of some press boxes that don't like to turn the lights on.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, I can tell you one that I spent many years in because the lights are just not quite up to par at Greenwich High School. We would often turn the lights off in the booth and we'd work off lamps. I would have to literally bring a lamp with me.
The Harvard versus Yale, circa 1890 or something?
I mean, yeah, we were thinking about the kerosene lamps. The lights would just come right at us and even bouncing off the glass no matter what we did. It just the glare was pretty bad.
Was it whale oil from Long Island Sound?
It was.
Did John Kovac get it for you?
He did indeed. Bouncing away it goes. Ludlowe will send it back toward their net. And Marr, their keeper, will reset things. Out towards center at the midfield stripe. Coming up on the midpoint of the second half.
With visions of Kovac and Captain Ahab garb dancing in my head.
I'm imagining he's at football practice right now and not hearing us.
Let's hope.
Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network.
With an updated logo. Thanks, Joe.
That is very true. Thanks to Joe.
And the art department.
Redirected right back. The Bears trying to keep the pressure on. The Bears have had some chances. Ludlow's had the better of it for sure. But it has been a good, competitive, albeit at times chippy match. But nothing that's been out of control. It's been good. Bouncing around. Oh, here's a big chance for the Falcons, and they send it wide. Jack Scoville just couldn't find the angle.
Julian Johansson had a good look at it in front of him as well, and just slid right by him. Could not quite get the tip in. And, you know, all things considered, Rob, I mean, we're 2 crossbars away from this being a blowout.
Yeah. Again, Staples and New Canaan finished in a scoreless draw. As this comes down and off to the side. Just spied something. Kelly Halloran on Twitter saying, I'm so happy they streamed the boys' game live. Kelly, we're glad we did it too. It's been a good one. Although Eric is right, if not for a couple of crossbars and really some good work at times by Tyler Dalton, this would be a blowout.
Yes. Yeah, Dalton really has kept this a game for the Bears.
Like seeing little notes like that. And that wasn't even tweeted at us directly. I just happened to notice it. Dumb luck.
That's what we're all about.
Dumb luck, yeah. To a certain extent, that's true. As it rolls over near side for the Falcons. Sent across. Unable to control it. That looked, I believe that was Nascimento, but in any event, it goes out to the far side.
Yeah, excellent chance for Nascimento there. It had a bit of a whiff in the on the ball, and the crowd owing and awing accordingly.
Played back out near midfield. And the big pooch back out to midfield again. And sent through. It's the Falcons controlling it. Turning around and playing it was Katrubis, excuse me. Still a 1-0 score. Tulio Almeida in the 42nd minute. In a game that's also featured a red card, a yellow card as well.
And an ambulance.
And an ambulance, unfortunately, as well as a fire truck and a police car. Off to the far side. Falcons over there. Nicholas Guzman for the Bears.
Bears kind of on their heels now, just trying to regroup, kicking that right out of bounds, and Ludlowe is threatening on the doorstep here.
Great shots by the entire crew today. I know I say that virtually every time, but it's just being thankful for the work that the team does. Turned over and sent back the other way. Dancing around. Here's a chance on net, but not a great shot from Johansson. He kind of rolled it right down to Dalton.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It felt like Johansson kind of couldn't make up his mind where to go, and he just kind of rolled it right to Dalton.
Substitutions coming on. Just about 16 minutes left in this one. Estevan Restrepo heads over toward his bench for the throw-in. Started to make the approach and throw it. Now he does. Goes right to a Falcon, then got knocked away. Ooh. And the whistle stops things. Long day, partner?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what sound you heard.
I didn't hear it. I thought I heard A.J. Simonowski, actually. I didn't hear you.
Oops.
I heard the sound of coffee break starting tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Off to that far side it goes. To Ridgefield we go on Friday, and that is an adjustment to the schedule.
That sounds like it's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to that game.
I think so as well, and I think we'll see a whole different side of the Ridgefield Tigers than what we saw in their first go-round. And they got hit pretty hard by New Canaan, but New Canaan and Darien are right now in a different stratosphere in high school football this season. I think Staples is in that mix, but I need to see it for sure, and we'll see Staples and Darien in November. And, of course, Darien New Canaan, one way or another, will be on the HAN network. You know what I mean about that. Either the FCAC Championship or the Turkey Bowl.
Or both at the same time.
Indeed. Off the throw-in. And then sent right down into the waiting arms of Tyler Dalton. Play back out to midfield. Alec Williams on for the Falcons, the senior. Rolling it over near side, Patrick Hogan. Hogan gets tangled up and a whistle. Frustration from the Bears fans, of course, as he got tangled up with Michael Hidalgo, the freshman.
It's kind of a 50-50 call there. Could have gone either way, I think.
I agree. Needless to say, some cries of "Come on, Norwalk." Did you hear about the crying Mets fan who called into a radio show this week, by the way?
I did not.
I'll go ahead and say it. It called in to Mike Francesa on Sunday
boy.
over the whole thing that happened with
Tejada?
Chase Utley and Tejada and all that. Well, I just saw a note come across the wire that Francesa is taking that fan to tonight's Game 3.
He does have a soul.
And a Diet Coke. Played back out by the Bears to the near side. Falcons trying to steal it away. Comes over to Torres. Torres getting around Tarcio Almeida, but Almeida did his thing. Fans don't like that whistle. 1-0 game. Under 13 to go.
Torres, not going to say anyone embellished anything on that, but it was a earned call. And they're going to bring Dalton all the way up here to the 47-yard line, and he's going to try to get this right close to the net here.
As it heads down to Frederick Marr.
One goalie to the other, just a little too much on that kick.
When I have a moment, I can actually follow up on that dead spin note. Kind of fascinating.
Oh, that. Yes, I did see that earlier today.
And in the meantime, a collision between two players here. Before I get to that, it seems that Alvaro, if I'm saying your name correctly or incorrectly, on Twitter, said, "Can me and my boy Dominican Dub get a shout out?"
Sure thing.
You bet you can. You just got it. There you go, guys. A couple of Norwalk folks watching this afternoon. Thank you. This early evening. So, Deadspin apparently got suspended due to Major League Baseball Advanced Media's archaic GIF or GIF policy, if that's how you pronounce it. That on Twitter. As it rolled off to the far side, and again, Tyler Dalton playing as well as he can.
Punching that out of the way on a pretty long shot right into the box there, and Dalton is keeping this a one-goal game.
MLB has often been a little tone deaf when it comes to certain things, such as things on YouTube for a long time. They finally look like they got through with that. Looked like that ball might have hit a hand and it'll be spun back the other way. Under 11 to go in the second half. It's another one of those days in which anything goes in terms of what you wear. Some young ladies in the crowd wearing the heavier coats, and I'm up here in short sleeves and shorts. Go figure. But a beautiful night. Temperatures dropping into the 60s and heading toward the 50s now. And definitely those lights needed at this point with 10.5 to go. Again, very physical, as you can spy it right there, Eric, between Tarcio Almeida and Alexander Torres.
Yeah, there's going to be no love lost between these two teams when this is all over.
Coming down to what would be the end of the 70th minute in a 1-0 game. Tulio Almeida, the lone goal. And it came here in the second half. Over to the near side. And out it goes onto the track. Very excited that by the end of this week, we will finally have the winter schedules. Which, yes, will have me curled up in a fetal position because of trying to figure out what games to cover, but it's still an exciting thing. Almeida. Off to the near side, Patrick Hogan sent across. Good cross pass there, rolls just wide.
The sports fan in me is chomping at the bit to see what that looks like. The video director in me is panicking.
Yep. That's about it right there. But, in fact, I may even get an early look at a few notes even before they all come out. They're going to start trickling out. This, just largely because of the way Dave Schultz treats us, and he treats us so well, this has become an easy go-to location for us.
Yeah, they treat us like gold here. Thank you, Dave.
We are able to get, and it's really the thing that we need. This is a brief public service announcement because we have started getting, a request here and there. Ludlowe working it through. Sent down, and nice play to grab it by Dalton. On occasion, we hear folks saying, hey, come cover our game, please. We'd be happy to have you come out and cover a game. The biggest key, and I know you will endorse what I'm about to say, Ethernet.
Yep, power and, cell signal helps, but Ethernet helps even more. And it's all about the internet. All about the Pentiums, baby.
Oh, very true. Far side, Dalton dove in front of Stahl.
And if you got that Weird Al reference, you are just as nerdy as I am.
Oof. Diving on top of it again is Dalton.
Another great opportunity for the Falcons there. as Stahl put one right into the breadbasket of Dalton. Again, great play from Dalton to keep this a one-goal game. But it feels larger than that, doesn't it?
It really does. As it looked like Nascimento tried to get a call from the officials. He had held his hand high to indicate the ball had been touched by a hand, but was neither touched by a hand nor an angel. Nascimento, near side, outside the numbers, steps inside those football numbers. Good ball movement. He gets down, right footer, trying to send it through. And instead it bounces, and diving on top of it again is Tyler Dalton, who has earned my respect today for the way he has hung in there.
Yeah, if we're going to do this hockey style, he'd be probably the number 2 star.
Yeah, I would give him a star. This gets pooched back. So now, looks like a Ryan Howard. Now, I'm just going by what you use for your Twitter names. Down the right side it comes. We'll finish that thought in a moment. Trying to dance around and tumbling over for Ludlowe goes Stahl. Unless it's something I shouldn't be saying. But anyway, the young man going by Ryan Howard saying, can Eddie Sevilla get a shout-out in your commentary? All right, there's your shout-out.
Playing with a hole in his lung.
Pretty soon we'll be doing long-distance dedications and talking about a little dog named Snuggles.
This one goes out, too.
That was my first job in radio, actually. It was
really?
An overnight DJ.
Oh, wow.
And in the early 90s, that was the thing. Give me a call late on a Saturday night. See if I could get you to play a song. Dancing down, bouncing around, goes off a bear, trying to recover, and out goes diving on it is Dalton, but good aggressive play by Stahl.
Stahl wants one bad right now. I mean, he has been close several times in the last 10 minutes or so, and you wonder if it's coming. The icing on the cake here.
Far side again. The big hit during the time I was an overnight DJ, and I only worked one night a week, but Saturday night into Sunday, everybody wanted the Bryan Adams song, Everything I Do It For You, from the Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves movie. And I would just take out a pad of paper and I'd just say, call me and let's get the names now. So, to Elise from Eric, to AJ from AJ.
Oh, God.
Right down the line I would go.
I would never subject my wife to that song. Thank you. And don't tempt me because I'll start singing
it. Rolling over near side for Nascimento. And Ryan Howard, you're very welcome. He said, thanks, guys. I heard it. Rolled across. Wow. Very close to being an own goal. That was dangerous. Dalton again climbing on top of it.
I mean, if not for one of the weirdest goals we've ever seen, and Dalton playing out of his mind for this game, this would be a 0-0.
It would be. The Bears still have 4.5 to go. And one thing to know, just in case you're new and don't know, obviously in higher soccer leagues as it bounces away, divisions and whatnot, what happens is the scoreboard clock is never official. It's kept on the field, on the turf. It is here as well, but there's no stoppage time, injury time, that kind of thing. The clock is the clock as it goes all the way back to the other end.
Yeah, we would have had the 5-minute stoppage time in that first half if that was the case.
Right.
But maybe even more. I don't know.
So that's why we're able to keep an eye on the game clock, which counts down. And then I kind of do the math in my head to do the best I can to give you the minute. If you're wondering about our Twitter, it is HAN Network CT. You're right. Those are 2 N's in the middle. HAN Network CT. Tweet away, folks. We try to be fairly interactive and have a good time with it all. Down to 3:23 to go in a 1-0 game. And there's a whistle.
If Norwalk can sustain a little bit of pressure here, it would be interesting to see if they can get at least one shot towards the net and, just see what happens because, man, that sure would be interesting.
If for any reason you're so inclined, by the way, you can find me. I'm happy to talk to you on Twitter personally. It is DOUBLE5, 55. We're under 3 to go.
Dalton taking another free kick here.
Makes the approach, sends it down. Goes right into the waiting arms of Marr, who came a good 8 yards out of his net to play it. Now quickly in transition, Ludlowe trying to put a capper on it. Time is not on the Bears' side. 1-0 our score. That'll roll right back to Marr. Obviously, the Falcons in no rush. Big boot coming back out to midfield. Redirected by the Bears. Bouncing around it goes. Very patient, but the Falcons will take it back. Tulio Almeida, he has the only goal in this game. A Tim Wakefielder. There are a lot of ways I could have gone with that reference, but I showed you the love right there, my friend.
That was mad respect.
Okay. Could have gone for Phil Niekro, Hoyt Wilhelm, or a bunch of other ways.
Or the gentleman who's pitching today, R.A.
That's right, R.A. Dickey, who is a knuckle baller, but it's more of a knuckle curve. But still does throw that knuckleball with 1:22 to go here. Off to the near side. Getting very difficult for the Norwalk Bears now. Played by Nascimento. He'll send that well down past the net. 1:07 to go. Substitution coming on for the Falcons.
Sure, they're going to take their sweet time here. That was probably some of the intent behind Nascimento's long kick.
I would think so. Played back out. This is exactly what the Bears do not need. Dalton will come flying over to play it. No moral victories, of course, but for the Bears, they have to feel somewhat good because they have really hung in this game. But that's also the frustration that they'll experience. They'll reset. Katrubis.
Probably last chance here.
Yup. Instead, walking away, it'll be played by Marr. Down to 20 seconds.
Let's see if third time is the charm for Dalton.
Whistle stops things with 18 to go. Here we go. Into traffic it goes and played right to Marr.
Same result.
And that should just about seal the deal here. 10 to go. As it'll bounce out of bounds to the Norwalk bench. Certainly they're going to be upset, frustrated, disappointed. This one counting down to 1, and this one is over. It was a good one.
Well, that would have been quite the ending, but all 3 times they brought up Dalton to take that free kick, and all 3 times it fell into the waiting arms of the Ludlowe goalie, and we get ourselves a 1-0 final.
So Ludlowe gets the win, their 8th win on the year. And for Norwalk, it's their 6th loss. The final score from Taft Field in Fairfield. Fairfield Ludlowe 1 and Norwalk 0. If A.J. Simonowski gives me the thumbs up, he just did. We'll take a timeout. 1-0 our final score from Ludlowe. We'll come back and put a wrap on it after this. Good game. Come on back for the post game. You're watching Boys Soccer. It's the FCAC on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Back here at Taft Field, and certainly credit to all the folks who put this one together today, Anna, Michael, Drew, and Elena, as well as A.J. Simonowski, Marty Hersom, Kate Chaplinsky, Eric Gendron, Sean Saylor. Along with all of them, I'm Rob Adams. Final score, 1-0 as Fairfield Ludlowe gets the win over Norwalk. Tulio Almeida gets the lone goal, a knuckleball, in the 42nd minute. That's half the story of this game. The other half, of course, is the injury to David Bates that occurred in the 29th minute. Jose Carvajal went off with a red card, meaning the Bears played a man down for the rest of the match, and those are really, to me, the two headlines that come out of this.
Yeah, Norwalk actually played great, considering they were a man down for probably a little under three-quarters of this game, probably two-thirds of this game, and credit to the Bears. I mean, they are a weird bounce away from coming away with a point out of this game. And, Ludlowe probably kept the pressure up throughout this game. Norwalk did not have many chances, only a couple set pieces, and, had a few chances to try to tie things up, bringing up Tyler Dalton, their goalie, to take free kicks from about midfield 3 times, and all 3 times just overshot it by just a bit, and they could never really capitalize on any chances in the Ludlowe zone, and the Falcons come away with another victory.
And again, nothing more on David Bates, not that we expected to hear anything more. We know it was a knee injury. He left in that 29th minute, went out via an ambulance, and certainly it was difficult to look at, but again, his spirit seemed pretty good. Initially yelled as he went to the turf, then sat up. I even spied a smile at one point. So again, you want to take the positives that you can out of that situation.
Yep, always hurts the most when it first happens, but it certainly seemed like, things were on the positive side as he left, but we wish him all the best. That was a nasty, nasty collision there that led to his injury.
So for Norwalk, they dropped to 2-6-3 on the year, and the Falcons improved to 8-2-1, and really a good time here. Good game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really kind of figured, despite Norwalk's record coming into this, this was going to be a spirited matchup, and we certainly got it. And, like we keep saying, we were one crazy bounce away from this being a 0-0 game, 0-0.
Now, tomorrow, of course, coffee break will get your day started at 11 a.m. A.J. Simonowski is going to sit in my chair tomorrow as I take a day off and try not to embarrass myself on the golf course with my partner, Chris Irway. But Kate, of course, will be along with coffee break tomorrow morning. A.J. in for sports, and then the drive with Denise comes your way at 12:30. So Denise DiGregoli on with the drive, and then a little cross-country, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Josh Fisher will lead that broadcast along with Dave Stewart as well as Raquel Welsh. They will all be with you tomorrow from Waveney Park in New Canaan. Then Friday, we've got football for you of the American style as the Ridgefield Tigers take on the Trinity Catholic Crusaders. And that game comes your way at 7 o'clock. FCAC Tailgate gets things started with Kate Chaplinsky and Donald Eng. Then at 5 o'clock, that's at 4 o'clock. At 5, we've got FCAC Game Day. Looks like Dave Stewart and myself. We'll see, but certainly that's the crew that will be with you on Friday from Ridgefield High School. So with all that said and done, that will do it from Fairfield Ludlowe High School. The final score, once again, Fairfield Ludlowe knocks off Norwalk 1-0. Tulio Almeida's goal in the 42nd minute, the difference in this game. We remind you again, start your day tomorrow with Coffee Break. The news headlines, sports, weather, everything you need to know to get yourself going, and a nice hot cup of joe as well. That 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. For our entire crew here at Fairfield Ludlowe High School, our thanks to Athletic Director Dave Schultz. A.J. Simonowski and Eric Gendron both directed. A.J. Simonowski and Eric Gendron both helped me call it. For all of them, I'm Rob Adams. Final score, Ludlowe 1, Norwalk 0. It was a good one. We'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll see you Friday for football from Ridgefield. But for now, from Fairfield Ludlowe High School, good night, everyone.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties. This is the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut and beyond.